Crunchyroll just committed a felony crime. No, really. All right. Enhanced bitrate. What does that do?
Well, guys, it turns out that Crunchyroll has committed a federal crime. And it's not something that they've done in just one instance. It's something that they've been doing for the last 5 years. We only found out about it very recently, though, on October 25th, when David Wald, a voice actor, tweeted that if he's been sent any...
Dear friends, if you sent me anything care of Funimation or Crunchyroll in the last 5 years, I apologize. I didn't get it. I learned yesterday that Crunchyroll opened my private mail, threw away your letters, and passed out any included items to their staff. What?
Anything in the last 5 years in terms of fan art, fan letters, anything, then he has not received it because apparently Crunchyroll has been stealing all of it. This is in direct violation of U.S. federal law.
Yeah.
Or more specifically, the U.S. Code 1702, obstruction of correspondence. This has gone absolutely viral.
No fucking way. Veteran anime actor levies serious accusations against Crunchyroll. Wow. When it comes to anime, Crunchyroll is the go-to for goodies, from streaming to merchandise. Company is all about anime, but now Crunchyroll has found itself in hot water. Mail tampering, yeah. That's so shitty, though. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, who is the actual... like, we say, oh, Crunchyroll did it, but who is the actual fucking motherfucker that was behind that? Because what a shitty piece of shit thing to do. Go through people's mail and then give, you know... Fans took time to make gifts or to do things, and you just fucking throw them out? Or send them, like, give them to other fucking people? That's ridiculous, man.
Everyone is talking about it if they're in the anime sphere in the West, and I feel like it's not only the perfect opportunity to raise more awareness on this disgusting behavior, but to also sit down with you and show you why Crunchyroll has been a terrible company for years now, and that this only adds more to their shady, unpleasant history. Let's talk about it. So Crunchyroll, as it stands, is the biggest anime distributor / streamer in the West. So if you're outside of Asia, this is most likely the service that you're using for anime.
Not exactly. But I do use it sometimes when I'm just chilling. But not exactly.
Unless you're a pirate. Some people, and even publications like the South China Morning Post, credit Crunchyroll for turning Japanese anime mainstream in the West.
You know, just chill.
It's a very impressive company with its size in non-Asian countries and its catalog. But it wasn't always this anime licensing sweetheart. In fact, at some point, Japanese license holders wanted to take the website down. You see, the website was founded in 2006, and back then it was a pirating website. Not a single thing on this page is legal. But it wasn't just about anime, it was about anything.
I remember when like Crunchyroll first started like sponsoring YouTubers like over 10 years ago. You also stream on Kick. I do not.
Whether it be Asian drama, things...
Oh yeah, I remember when they started doing it like 10 years ago. And I always thought it was like a sketchy site, so I never really went on it. But...
related to video games. It was like YouTube, but for pirates, where anything could be uploaded. There were no limits, except maybe adult videos. This is the exact website you would have seen in 2006.
That's crazy.
Bleach's 108th episode had just come out, and Naruto's 214th episode had just come out as well. It's a crazy time capsule.
Back in 2006.
In 2008, they somehow convinced a venture capital firm by the name of Venrock, based out of Palo Alto, California, to invest $4 million into them.
Damn.
After this, they sought to become legal, a legitimate space to share anime content. On January 8, 2009, they signed a deal with TV Tokyo to host episodes of Naruto Shippuden. Obviously, you can see how big of a deal that is. And immediately started to delete all the illegitimate content on its website that they don't hold rights to. They then continued to get more and more anime licensed from Japan.
See, this is when I remember Crunchyroll starting to become like more mainstream.
And you know what? They had a talent. They knew how to choose the animes that they licensed and then translated. Because of course, there's a lot of anime that gets made every single season.
Yeah, my Discord
this is what made
just
them
my name.
different. No one could really compete that much with them because anime wasn't really seen as a big deal until very recently. This is when Sony decided to create Funimation, a direct competitor of Crunchyroll, back in 2017. Now, of course, seeing
Funimation.
that it's Sony, they had one hell of a lineup of popular anime, but they didn't really know how to pick more underrated ones that the Western audience would enjoy. At least,
See, I was never a fan of Funimation. I always preferred Crunchyroll over it. I've used Funimation like a couple times, but
not as well as Crunchyroll did. But honestly, who cares? You have an industry and you have multiple
yeah, I can add
competitors
you
all
after
trying
this.
to do their own thing. That's very healthy. But unfortunately, that didn't last too long. In August of 2020, there were reports coming out that Sony actually wanted to buy Crunchyroll. Things were advancing. They had offered $1.1 billion to buy it,
1.1
but
billion.
on March 24, 2021, as things were coming to a close, the United States Department of Justice extended its review of this because they thought that maybe, just maybe, this could become a monopoly of anime outside of East Asia. Somehow, okay, some way. I don't know who got bribed, who got threatened, but it got approved. And in August 2021, the deal was finalized. It was one of the biggest mistakes in the anime industry because this effectively meant that Sony had become the major monopoly when it comes to anime content.
Yeah, I hate
outside
Sony
of
when
Asia.
it comes to that shit.
Seeing that Sony owned so many anime streaming websites, including Wakanim, which was in France, they decided to merge everything into Crunchyroll, really solidifying the idea that they're now a monopoly. One of the main reasons why people hate Crunchyroll and of course Sony is due to this monopoly. I mean, look at this email that was sent to existing Funimation customers when the merger happened. The first few paragraphs are reassuring you that, hey, don't worry, your
$45.95 a year
account
to
info isn't going
100.
to change.
Nah, that's
Your
ridiculous.
watch history, all your preferences, everything is staying. But then you read the final paragraph and it says this: as part of our transition to Crunchyroll, the price of your new Crunchyroll plan will increase from $55 a year to $100
That's
a year
fucking
beginning
criminal.
January 28th, 2025. So yes, the price you were paying had effectively doubled overnight, and you couldn't do anything about it. What were you going to do about it? Go to a different service? Oh wait, Sony owns everything, and
You
now
can do what we call, which is sail the fucking seas.
it's under Crunchyroll. But even worse, and I think this is probably the
Become a
worst
pirate.
part in all this, Funimation had something Crunchyroll didn't. Instead of having to pay for a subscription, you could just flat out buy the anime that you wanted digitally so you could watch it anytime. Well, Sony said, "F you and what you own. You don't actually own anything."
Yep.
This was the explanation Crunchyroll gave you when
Bro, this isn't even a problem. Like, I mean, it's a problem on anime, but this is also a big problem with gaming where you now own literally nothing. Everything's digital copy. You own nothing. Even if you buy a disc, you still have to fucking digitally download it, so you really don't own that either. It's just, it's
you
fucked.
inquired about your Funimation digital copies.
Everything we essentially have is just a license.
They said, "We understand that you may have concerns about your digital copies from Funimation. Please note that Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previously available digital copies will not be supported. However, we are continuously working to enhance our content offerings and provide you with an exceptional anime streaming experience. We appreciate your understanding and encourage you to explore the extensive anime library available on Crunchyroll." So this was a very disgusting corporate speak way of saying that everything you own is now in the gutter, you will never be able to access it again. F you. I mean, Ubisoft said that gamers should get used to not owning their copies.
Exactly.
Look at their stock price. You do not want to be like Ubisoft.
Thing is, you don't want to be like Ubisoft, but that's just the fucking truth. They told everybody the truth because it doesn't just go for Ubisoft. It goes for Steam. It goes for fucking any marketplace ever that sells games. You do not own it because at any point in time they could pretty much just tell you you're not playing today. That's how it goes.
This is what a monopoly actually looks like, and it's terrible. That's not the only thing.
Anime lover, yeah.
Though.
I am.
Look, anime is Japanese. It was created in Japan. Crunchyroll knows this, and they actually have a studio in Shibuya, Tokyo, to make original anime. At some point, though, they decided to use subscription money to create their own studio in Burbank, California, to make anime within the United States. As you can see from the rating, 1.6 out of 10, that was an utter disaster. High Guardian Spice is the biggest piece of shit to come out of anime in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this, but it looks like dog shit.
It was marketed as anime for
looks like some Steven Universe garbage, fucking dog shit. Nobody's watching that garbage.
Diverse groups, most notably highlighting their LGBTQ+.
Yeah, this is the problem when they make everything about an identity. That's also when it goes to shit. That's also when it goes to shit. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares that it's the first trans character, this and that. Nobody gives a fuck, man. Just make a good anime, and if so happen the character is fucking gay or like straight or whatever, then it just so happens that they are. But that it doesn't need to be their whole fucking identity. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, I don't even think the LGBT community is asking for this. Like, nobody's asking for it. You don't need to make it your whole fucking
plus
identity. Nobody
representation.
cares.
Well, you know you fucked up
Just
when
make a
even
good
people in the
fucking
LGBTQ
anime. How about
plus
that?
hate this fucking show to death. Like, no one likes this. This is terrible. When you become a monopoly, you
Like,
become
bro, Naruto, we had Haku. Haku. Did you hear anybody freaking out about that? No, because it was a good anime. It was a good anime and it was a good fucking character. Okay, nobody cares.
lazy and complacent. You stop taking risks and you completely forget what
cares.
made you great in the first place. This show is proof of that. Oh, and let's not forget that at the end of 2023, they had to settle a class action lawsuit with their own consumers because they violated the United States Video Privacy Protection Act by disclosing its subscribers' personally identifiable information to third-party companies like Facebook, Adobe, etc. Of course, it's a very large list. They initially tried to deny the claim, okay? They lied, but then settled anyway to avoid any uncertainties or expenses associated with continuing the case. So not only were they a monopoly, not only did they double the price of annual subscriptions and are offering nothing to show for it, they were also selling their own users' data. And by the way,
dude, that's so shitty.
The settlement was terrible. It was $30 per Crunchyroll user.
I really only use Crunchyroll just because it's easier to use on like my TV and shit when I feel like just chilling and doing it on my TV. But I'm thinking that's going to start to change. Not because of this video, but I've been thinking it was going to start to change before that. But yeah, this video is definitely helping me out.
My data probably cost more than that. But these 3 reasons I just gave you, I think, are enough for you to think, wow, this is a terrible, lazy monopoly that can do whatever it wants because no one can even compete. This brings us back to the crime that they committed against David Wald. Now look,
crazy.
David Wald is a seasoned voice actor. He's been in the industry for a long time. He doesn't just dub anime, which is the act of voice acting English dialogue for something that isn't originally in English, but he also voice acted in games. Some of the biggest animes he's dubbed in were Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, or even Vinland Saga. Now you'd think that Crunchyroll would give a veteran voice actor like himself the respect he deserves. Well, no. It turns out Crunchyroll has been receiving packages meant for David and distributing them to staff instead without him knowing for 5.
Below is a photo of the complete contents of one of the packages addressed to me that was opened and distributed to employees. If you ended up in possession of any of it, I would very much like it returned to me. That's crazy. That is fucking absurd. It's incredible that your personal mail was mishandled like this, yeah. I'm livid about it, hun. Thank you. Thankfully, someone gave me the Dirt Zine and the Bad Adams book yesterday, which they found on the company giveaway table. Hope the rest comes back soon.
Years. Look at this tweet as an example. Ridiculous. He says, "Dear fellow workers at Crunchyroll, below is a photo of the complete contents of one of the packages addressed to me that was open and distributed to employees. If you ended up in possession of any of it, I would very much like it returned to me." And as you can see, there are many things here. I should mention, all of this is handmade. Even this, even though it looks like an official magazine.
That is crazy.
The character itself is Inosuke Shindo, and this is someone that David voices in dub. And Harumi quote tweeted this, saying, "I remember when my friend put this together to send to you. It was a group effort. Everyone was so looking forward to you getting it. This is extremely heartbreaking." David replies and says, "I promise you the situation will be rectified. We're just lucky you sent me a photo of the unique contents and the USPS tracking info." To which Harumi said, "It was all their efforts in doing so. I really hope this gets resolved. I'm so sorry to hear about this."
That's so shitty.
So imagine taking so much time to make a care package like this specifically for the person dubbing your favorite character in an anime and finding out so much later that no, it was just passed around employees and he never received it. I mean, imagine how David feels having something like this made specifically for him and not even receiving and not even being notified about it. It's insane. There was a quote tweet saying that all the employees should be fired for this, but David specified the employees are definitely not to blame. They just walked by the company freebies table and thought something looked cool. The management who elected to take this course of action, however, are another matter.
They should be fired.
If you work in a company
100%.
that does a lot of collaborations, you'd understand this perfectly. The companies you work with will send you free
unless you were an employee and you knew about it.
Freebies all the time, and you take them. But someone else in higher management getting a package that says David Wald, choosing to open it and then distribute it to employees, that's something else entirely. I've also seen some people say, well, why didn't he just put his home address? This is partly his fault. Well, think about
Yeah,
it this
home
way.
address.
If there was a
Like, the
crazy
fuck?
obsessed fan out there, wouldn't they just go to his house, knock on the door, and leave a package for him personally?
I mean, you could say a PO box, but you know.
What David did is actually very common. If you're watching this video and work in an office, you probably do the same thing. Maybe you send your Amazon packages to your office, that way you receive them on the job. And with no one letting him know that there's a package that arrived at Crunchyroll, like how would he know? The only reason he knew about this was because the people who sent it gave him the tracking info. He saw it arrived and that he never received it. That's what's incredible here. So what the hell happens next? As you might have already guessed, stealing mail in the United States is a federal
this should
crime.
be charged,
I'd love
100%.
to sit here and tell you that this is going to be the end of Crunchyroll, but the law itself is actually pretty damn vague. According to Legal Mindset, who is a lawyer on YouTube that I like to reference sometimes whenever there are legal problems, this line right here that says, before it has been delivered to the person to whom it was directed is the problem. So the law itself says, oh yeah, if you tamper with something before it's delivered to the person, you're in trouble. But what is the person? It says the person to whom it was directed. Well, technically the package says David, sure, but the address is Crunchyroll HQ. When the judge looks at this, they will actually side with Crunchyroll, unfortunately. Because technically the package arrived at the right address. Whether someone else opened it or tampered with it doesn't really matter. You're not the only one to think that this sucks, but unfortunately that's the legal reality. I do hope that the higher up manager though suffers direct consequences, because this is disgusting and we have to ask this question. How many other voice actors are going through the same thing without even knowing? This is why we need a statement from Crunchyroll ASAP. Crunchyroll has been in absolute silence. Everyone has been replying to their tweets asking for answers, and they only gave one on the 27th of October, 2 days after David Wald's tweet. A Crunchyroll spokesperson told Anime News Network that it's investigating the situation. Here's the full statement. Anime fans have a special connection with dub voice talent, and that emotional expression is important in fueling more love of anime content. We are currently investigating the matter regarding the allegation of undelivered fan mail to a voice actor. We respect the privacy of all our voice actors and do not intentionally open mail or packages not intended for Crunchyroll. Any fan mail should be sent directly to talent and their management. That last sentence in particular is pretty damn dirty. Like, yeah, sure, okay, you can say that, but you could have also called David 5 years ago or just sent him an email 5 years ago when the first package came and told him, hey, your fan mail shouldn't be coming to us, it should come to you. But no, instead, you chose to open it for 5 years, distribute it for 5 years, and only now are caught because he had a tracking number from a specific fan. So again, Crunchyroll is yet in another controversy, and they come out extremely unlikable, as if it's effortless for them. Of course, David's allegations don't end here. He says in a tweet shortly after revealing that his mail's been stolen, saying, me thinking, geez, it's a good thing I didn't tell them about the gay discrimination, or the medical discrimination, or the union busting, or the continuous culture of fear, or the hostile workplace environment, or 3 dots. Additionally, another voice actress by the name of Alexis Tipton replied to his tweet saying, oh my god, what the f***, adding this to the fact that they constantly give out free merch to the employees and voice actors aren't allowed to participate. We also no longer get free copies of our own work. We don't even get invited to Christmas parties. We are just a product.
That's ridiculous.
Look, there's a big worry already within the voice acting community that AI is going to come in and steal all their jobs. The fact that Crunchyroll...
Hopefully the fans actually don't let that shit happen though.
Treats their voice actors like complete, utter, disposable trash on the street tells me that they're probably already looking into AI technology to not have to hire voice actors ever again. Monopolies suck, and I hope that Crunchyroll gets what's coming.
The thing is, I love voice actors though, because I love being able to recognize them from different anime. Like, dude, that's Dave Blum. I know him as this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and all these fucking different anime shows, TVs, like...
to them. I also hope that David can get all of his stuff back, but unfortunately the idea of a lawsuit doesn't really...
Like, oh, this guy plays Tanjiro, but he also plays fucking the guy from Cyberpunk. Like, dude,
seem very viable, or at least that's what legal experts say.
I love
Guys, stay safe out there, and if you have any important mail coming your way, do not list your company as the address, just send it straight to your door instead.
Yeah,
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. I love you. Mwah.
Mwah. That was a dope ass video, not gonna lie. That's pretty dope. I'm gonna put that in the chat though. Now what to do, I don't really know. Not really sure, to be honest. not know. Sure if we're gonna. Okay, so we might stream later. Might actually play Call of Duty later. I might actually log off and take like a break, kind of, until we get some more people to play. And then we'll come back and stream later. Which I think might be the move. Because I don't like to do these streams too long, just because when you're a smaller streamer, it's just kind of pointless to do like fucking retardedly long streams. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. It kind of screws you over. But yeah. I think for now, I'm going to end it off here. And we're just going to chill. And then I'll be back around fucking 9 o'clock, something like that. And we'll do a little late night fucking Warzone. Little late night Warzone grind. Okay. And, yeah.